Well, hello friends, and welcome to those of you who are making the kids aeroplane jumper, which is probably why you're here. This is the first specific video for this pattern because hopefully all the other videos that you have watched have got you to this point and were a bit more generic, but where there's a bit of a specific, it's not a skill, just maybe a few rows in here that I'm going to take you through specifically just so you don't feel lost. And the first of which is the separating row. So we have knit in the round so far, and we're getting up to the point of making separating out the front and back panels so we can work on them separately. So in your pattern, what you'll see is that you knit to the end of a certain row, or knit to the end of a certain round, might I say, depending on what size you're doing. And it says that you are going to cast off the first stitch of the new round or your next round. So this is my fancy stitch marker marking the start of my round, so I'm going to get to that's my last stitch of the last round, and I'm going to put my stitch marker here, even though you're actually not going to use it anymore, but I'll just do that for the sake. And it says to cast off the first stitch of the new round. So in order to cast off, we always have to have 2 stitches to begin with. So I'm going to knit 2 stitches, so 1, 2, so we have to have kind of 2 stitches on this right needle, because in order to cast one off we have to bring this one over the other. So you knit 2 stitches like normal, there they are, and we're wanting to cast one off. Oh, got to bring it to the edge, cast that one off. And then what you'll see in your pattern is a number of stitches to knit before you do your next cast off. That number includes this stitch that is already on the right needle. So for me, I'm knitting size 2 to 3, and it says to knit 25, so I'm going to count this one that is left over from my cast off. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, I'm tangled up. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 11, 12, 13, 14. It's quite hard to knit looking through a camera. 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. I put some nail polish on for you guys because my nails were looking very dire from doing a messy play at Play Centre this morning. Okay, now I got on the chit chat and lost count, but quite good to show you how to count. So we go back to our stitch marker, and then that first one was cast off. Then we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 22, 23. I want 25. 24, 25. Okay, so now we're going to cast off our next stitch, and to do that we're going to knit 2 fresh stitches. So we're not going to utilize that last one, we're going to knit 2 fresh stitches and then use the first one we knit just then as part of that pair to cast off, like up and over. That's how we cast off. And then again we're going to knit 25 stitches, and that's going to include that leftover from the cast off. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I hope my maths is right, so I hope this works out. 6, 7. It doesn't always, to tell you the truth. 8, 9, 10, and that's okay actually. 11, 12, 13. It's much better in knitting to only have to undo 1 row to figure out your mistake as you do it. Undo 1 row and give it another go than figure out you've made a mistake 10 rows down. So frogging, which is what we call in knitting undoing a row, is actually all part of knitting. It doesn't mean that you suck. It just is part of life. It's part of knitting life. Okay, here we are getting to our final stitch, so I'm going to go back, I'm going to count backwards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 22, 24, 25. So that's where you can see the cast off. There's a bit of a gap in there. So now I have 25 stitches with a gap on each side. And the next thing I'm going to do is put my stitches, because I'm going to work on one panel at a time. So the next thing I'm going to do is put my stitches that I'm not working on, so they will be the first ones, the first lot. I'm going to put them on a spare bit of scrap yarn, or I'm going to put them on some 15mm needles that came in the pack, just to keep them aside so that we can work on just the first panel and put the others on some scrap yarn, and we'll do that next. So I'll be right back with some scrap yarn and show you how to do that.